Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chatter About the Chatter at Men's Radio Station. I'm your host today, Cuddy Cudworth, the proud founder of Monkey Mind Relaxation.com. It's about not letting your thoughts and emotions control you. For all the people that I get the chance to work with, we're always working on our emotional health, our mental health, getting people back on track where they want to be. And that's what it's all about. So the whole premise of Chatter About the Chatter is giving people the tools to be fully aware of what's going on. We've always talked about self-awareness, but I do want to say a few highs to everyone that's tuning in to our little radio show. A shout out to all the radio station, all the other radio hosts here as well at Men's Radio Station. And I always give a little shout out to Russ Kane as well. Every time I get back in contact with, hi Veronica, how you doing? See, Veronica, when you do that, that makes me feel a little bit less lonely. So, Veronica, very much appreciated for giving a shout out. Now, I encourage absolutely anyone who's out there to make this as interactive as possible. You're more than welcome to ask any questions. Today's show, and the title of today's show was How to Become the Observer of Our Thoughts. And actually, it's a lot easier than you might want to think. For anyone out there that's got these thoughts and these conversations going on, that's what Chatter About the Chatter is about. Anyway, I do want to give a quick shout out to Russ Kane, because every time I contact Russ Kane, he always says, "Could you have, I snapped my band. I snapped my band today. I snapped my band. I snapped my band." So, Russ, thank you. That genuinely makes me chuckle every time that we have a little chat about things. So it's September already. It's September already. Where has the year gone? I did a little Google search before coming on live just to give some absolutely random and useless information, but shockingly random information, which is there's only 16 weeks left to Christmas. 16 weeks and 2 days, and Christmas is going to be here. However, right where we are right now, which I think is really important, it's still summer. Even though we can see the seasons changing, and I'm looking outside of the studio right now, and I say the studio, I mean the man cave where I'm actually sat, and I'm looking out thinking, I can't believe in 20 days' time, 19 days' time, it's the end of the summer. But it is quite obvious it's going to be the end of the summer, because I think I was walking around B&M's or Home Bargains. They've already got the Christmas decorations in. And to me, that is absolutely shocking. It's far too early. It's far too early. But I just wanted to share that with everyone. Put a little smile on your face. I can't believe it. I've seen a winter spice candle already. A winter spice candle already in the shops. So today's chat today, Chatter About the Chatter, and the show is how to become the observer out of our thoughts. And it's something that when we're talking about thoughts, the thing is with our thoughts, they are just really are automatic. They are automatic, and they can drive us absolutely insane. Just in case we've not met before and we've got any new viewers to the show, my name is Cuddy Cudworth, the host of this show. Host of a podcast called Chatter About the Chatter as well, the founder of Monkey Mind Relaxation. And you're always more than welcome to get in contact if you ever want to have a little chat. Sunshine in Edinburgh. Veronica, are you in Edinburgh? I'm pointing as if that's Edinburgh. I'm pointing because Edinburgh, as the fly crows, as the crow flies, is about 20 minutes that way. However, for my drive to come all the way from where I am, it takes me about 45 to 50 minutes. I say 45 minutes. My wife always says it's about an hour to get round. So Edinburgh is very close, Veronica, if that's where you are. But it is a beautiful, sunshiny day. Beautiful, sunshiny day. So how can we become the observer of our thoughts? Because there's a lot of the times we don't realize what's happening with our thoughts because they are automatic, completely automatic. So I wanted to talk about a really powerful strategy for absolutely anyone listening. And like I say, in the comments, let us know where you're from. Let us know I am over the bridge, Veronica. I've got a feeling me and Veronica is just going to be a bit of banter between me and you. But for anyone else, leave some comments, leave some little chats, and you can ask questions. As I said, let's know who's out there and things like that. So we wanted to give you, or I wanted to give you, a really powerful tool that you might be able to identify and think, oh, wow, so that would... Oof. So we're going to talk about, for as long as it takes, the thought pendulum. I hear you ask, what the hell is a thought pendulum? So, our thoughts are really, really a big part of our life. And I want you to visualize. I was going to do some pictures, but my artwork is absolutely terrible. But I wanted to visualize, for anyone that's watching live or anyone's watching back on the feed or listening, a thought pendulum in your mind. A thought pendulum in the mind. In case you don't know what a pendulum is a very straight line with a weighted little object at the bottom that if you were to move and swing, that would swing in a pendulum. So we're looking straight line down. However, there's a swing to the left and a swing to the right. I've probably done that wrong because it's on the camera. So to the right and to the left. You will act and respond differently when your thought pendulum is off. Now, what do I mean by that? I would like you to identify that normal, cognitive, happy, normal state is your thought pendulum is hanging right down, straight down. And if you can recognize that in yourself on a daily basis, normal, strange word to use, but normal, cognitive, everybody, you're going through the day and it's a good day. Not a problem. Your thoughts are right on kilt. They're coming in, they're going out. They're coming in, they're going out. Because you're focused on a lot of things. So those thoughts are coming in and we're not really engaging with them. Hanging down, if your thought pendulum is hanging straight down, you're pretty much going to have a good day. It's going to be a good day. You are right. Hopefully some of the daily crowd and Russ mentions you regularly. Ah, yeah, Veronica, it's absolutely fine. So the thought pendulum is going to be hanging straight down. That's normal, perfect cognitive day. You are having a good day. Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. It happens for you, not to you. And we're going to discuss that a little bit for you. However, when your thought pendulum is off and you're heading for a downward spiral, and that downward spiral could be heading back to into depression or going into a depressive state, we can start actually identifying that by monitoring and becoming the observer of your thoughts, of realizing, how am I thinking today? Because once I recognize how I'm thinking, that's my actions are going to be following that. So it's a cool tool to have, that if you're swinging off to a negative side, your thought pendulum is off to the negative, your thoughts may be more of an insecure nature. There might be more judgment going into a negative spiral. Judgment will always head down to a negative spiral. Negative spiral is down. Down is not a place we really want to be going. Now, we're human beings. We have to accept that we are going to go up and down, up and down. Life is like a roller coaster, as I'm trying to think. Was it Ronan Keating once said? Have I just quoted the great Ronan Keating in a radio show? Life is a roller coaster. So we're going to have some ups and downs, but we don't want to stay in that downward spiral. So once again, identifying your thoughts in that downward spiral. If you could identify that, that could be your sign for, hang on a minute, I don't think I want to be going that way. The problem with that, with life, is we don't really have much self-awareness a lot of the times. However, I suppose people with a high emotional equation and understanding of their emotions do. But a lot of the times, and I will definitely use myself as an instance there, that way back in the day, and my troubles were 9-10 years ago, I didn't realize that kind of thinking, judgment, insecurity, worry, fear, the hate, woe is me. A great way to identify that you are heading back into a downward spiral is that woe is me. The whole world's against me. What do I get out of this? Now, if anybody's there, and if you are listening, if you can recognize that within yourself, that is always a really powerful tool to start recognizing, actually, my thoughts are way off. Way off, heading into that downward spiral. Now, if you have self-awareness, this powerful tool of understanding your thought pendulum, because that's a downward spiral. Downward spiral is insecurity. Now, Veronica, you can help me out on this one. If you are going to be heading down into that insecure kind of mindset, of which we all go there, you could recognize how those little thoughts and conversations are going to pop up. So I always remember when I was heading back down, I didn't know. See, the thing is, at that point, I didn't know that I was in a downward spiral. I wasn't fully aware of that, like spirals of downwards or upwards. You know, it was one of those things that it wasn't aware. But the second, and this is a powerful strategy that I believe it, and I always talk about this book to a lot of people, and I always want to say, right, take this book. It will get you back on track. And it's a powerful tool from a great book called Stop Thinking, Start Living by Richard Carlson. And if anyone's reading this, absolutely go and get the book. I've recommended this to absolutely everybody because we like to read books and we like to get ourselves out of those challenges and the depression that we can find ourselves in. And look, let's be honest. We always say this. I mean, it's not been the best 18 months around the world in any way whatsoever. So this tool, and we're going to keep talking about this because you can recognize how you're going to be acting in a downward spiral. And if this rings any bells for everyone, we're going to give you the tools to bring yourself back. Because the first part of it is definitely recognizing when you are in normal cognitive thinking state. I don't know why I'm doing air quotes or the peace sign there. But recognizing it is a huge part for a lot of people. And when I've worked with a lot of clients, I do give this tool. I give this tool to 100% recognize that you're heading into a downward spiral. Because we keep talking about the downward spiral. I'm going to tell you that how to get yourself back into the upward spiral. Because we also don't want to stay into that state. Because the opposite side, if you've got insecurity, judgment, worry, hate, fear, and woe is me definitely. The whole world's against me. Why does this always happen to me? Nothing ever goes right for me. That's a downward spiral. If you're already in that, we're going to give you the tools because you might not be able to find and see the opposing side of the thought pendulum. And the opposing side of the thought pendulum is happiness, love, compassion, fun, joy, gratitude. It is realizing how powerful our abilities to create a good day. Do you know what? You're 100%, Veronica, 100% right. So on the opposing side of the thought pendulum is happiness, love, compassion, fun, joy, understanding, and understanding perspective. Understanding perspective or another person's point of view is actually a really cool tool to bring you back from the downward spiral. Now, if anyone can recognize your downward spirals, or maybe you're in that, or you're there, we're going to talk about bringing it back. And look, I always talk about this gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most overused, understood words. I think I've said that nearly. That maybe is my mantra at this moment in time. That gratitude is the most overused, understood word that's used by so many people. However, if you're living a life where you really can't find any happiness, love for yourself is a big part as well. And compassion, some fun, some joy, understanding perspective, then we need to get you back over there. Because what happens if you're in a downward spiral, especially with insecurity, judgment, worry, fear, you need to start looking for the opposing emotion there. The opposing side to judgment is understanding perspective. Compassion. Instead of hate, have compassion. If you were going to start looking at things through, so it's kind of like changing your glasses. And I think that was a great reference, and I'm sure that was Jamie Smart, which is another Clarity, which is a great book to read for anybody out there. I should mention, I'll probably hashtag Jamie Smart that I mentioned his book on it. So if you are looking through the world and your glasses are on, those glasses that you are wearing are emotionally charged with insecurity, and you're seeing the world through insecurity, can you identify how that internal chatter about the chatter would be? I bet you could. And I'm going to let you think about that as I ask you that question. Because if you're watching it back or you're listening to it back, you'll be like, oh, actually, how is my internal thoughts? Because you can identify them. So when you're on a downward spiral set off by insecurity, you might be saying things like, what if I lose my job? Or what if this person doesn't like me? Or what if this happens? Or what if? Terrible way of thinking. And we'll definitely discuss the what if thinking syndrome that pops up so many times. It can literally freeze us. What if? Because I was a chronic what if thinker. A chronic chronic what if thinker. To the point now where if that sentence even pops up, it's like, no, we're not going down that in any way. We are not going to go down that route in any way whatsoever. But we can we could probably do a whole hour on what if thinking and how that can affect you and how to overcome that. So we'll discuss that slightly. But it's about becoming the observer of your thoughts by giving you this pendulum analogy. So if you're going to be going into, let's say, woe is me, that mindset that can often come about, and it comes from the way that we think, whereas we're not really holding ourselves accountable for our emotions and feelings, and we're blaming everybody else for the way that we're feeling. And trust me, been there. I've bought that t-shirt as well. But that indicates that you are back on in a downward spiral. Now, once you can recognize that conversation and those thoughts by recognizing the things that you say, and it's a beautiful tool that when you start going, actually, I just said something, and my thoughts off. Should I be thinking like this? Am I a little bit more insecure? Oh, what's happened? Because there's always going to be reasons why you're heading that way. There's always going to be reasons, and we'll talk about a few of the reasons that makes you head that way. Once you become the observer of those thoughts and start recognizing it, you then have this beautiful tool to go, whoa, I don't want to keep going down this route, because the last time I had that, I was going in a downward spiral and I was back into depression. A completely anxious mind. Your monkey mind, that chatter, was just constant, absolutely constant. Once you can recognize it, that's an extremely powerful tool to be able to say, I don't want to carry on going down this route. What do I need to do to get back? First of all, you've identified it. And even if I'm not there or anything like that, give yourself a pat on the back, because you've recognized it. A lot of people don't get the chance to recognize it, or when they do recognize it, unfortunately there's that mindset that creates this little bit of a victim within ourselves that makes us the victim and the person that's just getting, all this bad treatment because it's happening all around us. It's happening, unfortunately, creating these bad states that we have in our life. And it's not the best word to use, victimize. I'm not saying you're a victim or anything like that. It's the mindset of everything goes wrong because of me. That creates that woe is me. No, I can't be as good as that person. No, I don't. I can't do what you do. And it's this mindset that we can get our stuck stealth. Easy for me to say. It's that mindset that we get ourselves stuck into that really just sends us down on that slippery slope. But identifying those days, and it's such a cool practice to get yourself into, getting yourself into that state where have that little conversation with yourself first thing in the morning. Have that conversation. I genuinely believe that first thing in the morning is the best time for you to create that mindset for you. And it's about changing expectations for gratitude. I'm sure I've talked about that because that's one of my talking points for everyone. But having that little conversation and have a little chat with the monkey. Have a little chat with your monkey. Call your monkey something. Your monkey mind, that little conversation that we have going on, which is exhausting, self-debilitating. If that conversation is not growing beautiful little flowers, we need to have a chat. If those seeds that are going in are not waterable or not thoughts that you want to water and keep creating, boom, dig them out. Absolutely dig them out. That's your thought pendulum. Boom, you're heading into a negative spiral. However, the opposing side of the thought pendulum is happiness, love, compassion, fun, joy, and understanding perspective. Now, you don't want to constantly be living in a state of happiness, overly compassion, and fun. Well, no, you can't have too much compassion, but constantly seeking fun, constantly seeking joy, because that could also lead you in, well, if I don't have it, again, that word, if I don't have it, that's one of those words that we need to really work on. Well, I don't have this, and I don't have this, and I don't have this. If you've had that question 3 times, you've already set your mind pendulum back off into the negative spiral. So when you take ownership and accountability and that self-awareness with you, it's a phenomenal thing for you to do. So when you're looking to bringing your pendulum back by using the tools of happiness, love, compassion, fun, or joy, taking a little bit of that will actually bring your thought pendulum down. Because we're all into the world today that where we have this especially comparison would definitely be on the negative side. If we get stuck ourselves into the comparison, we can start feeding that monkey mind with things that you are not, things that we don't have, and things that we can't be. And that's going to send you on that downward spiral. And everyone, absolutely everybody, is really got the ability to be able to say, actually, no, I don't want to go on that downward spiral today. I don't want to go on that spiral. So if you've heard this program, you've got to watch this program, you'll be like, this is genuinely a tool that's going to make this big, massive change and those mindset shifts that we are looking for. So what if thinking? One of the best things I've always remembered, and it's about giving yourself those reminders, those daily reminders. We need daily reminders. Listen to that positive podcast. Listen to somebody who's preaching that positivity, especially first thing in the morning, because it breeds and it grows and permeates through absolutely everything that you have. And I still use some phenomenal tools, such as these things to create that more positive mindset. It genuinely is one of those things. So I recognize that when my thought pendulum is not hanging down, when it is not hanging down, boom, I know I'm going to have a good day. It's down. It's right in the middle. Nothing's bothering me. I can laugh and have fun and have joy. I'm not more reactive when people have made a joke. I recognize it when my sense of humor disappears and when I'm not thinking things funny and I'm starting to take things personally. When I'm starting to take things personally, this works two ways. I recognize it in myself, and you can start recognizing it with people around you. Because you can recognize if people are in a downward spiral, if they are not laughing and maybe not having that much fun and are getting a little bit more oversensitive, which happens. It absolutely happens. We never know what's going on in people's lives. I didn't know what was going on in my life at the time. You can recognize it and think, oh, they're not normally taking on as much fun as they would have normally. Right? Do you know what? I'll just, we can have that compassion and we can back off and things like that. So that's a powerful tool for you to have. Is if my thought pendulum is off, I'm heading back down to a downward spiral. And once you recognize that, you can think, what do I need to do? Now, some of the things that's probably causing, one of them is, I'm just going to explain now. Give me a second. Today's show is sponsored by Robinson's Cordial. Robinson's Cordial. So yeah, if you are heading back into that downward spiral, there's genuinely three major things that could be sending you into that major. Well, I always say for two. Lack of sleep. I hear you say, but the lack of sleep comes from the fact that I've got worry and I've got woe is me because that's going on. Now there is a lot of things we can do, a lot of things that you can do. And I will be talking about it, and I'm going to give you a really solid, very easy meditation technique that will absolutely calm your monkey mind. It's going to calm your monkey mind. If your monkey mind is taking over your life, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to be miserable. Your pendulum is going to be way off to the side. And again, that powerful tool is recognizing your thoughts and becoming the observer of those thoughts will make a massive, massive difference in your life. So hopefully that's going to help you. Now, two of the things, if your thoughts are off, will be lack of sleep, caused by whatever you need to know that's causing you the lack of sleep. You can always work on that. And believe it or not, dehydration and hunger can actually send your thought pendulum off. And it's strangely enough, hunger and thirst is kind of the same sensation in the body. Sometimes when you think you're hungry, you're actually thirsty. Now, bearing in mind I'm 6'2" and 3 feet wide, I've not always got that message going right because I always think I'm hungry, even though deep down inside I genuinely know that I'm probably just thirsty because I've not drunken enough water or Robinson's cordial. Whereas my monkey mind wants to take over the overactive part that's full of emotions and think, no, just have a double decker. It's a double decker that you need, and it's not really water. So you have to have that little conversation with yourself and say, actually, whatever you want to name your monkey mind, you can, you can have that conversation. Do you really need a double decker? Now, your first response is going to be, yeah, it's definitely a double decker. It's definitely a double decker. Or whatever your chocolate of choice is. Whatever your chocolate of choice is. However, if you take a big pint of water, cordial, I'm not really a big fan of fuzzy juice. I'm also not a health expert, ladies and gentlemen. And if for anyone that follows me on Instagram, yes, I do train, but you know, the diet's not always pinpoint, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reason I took strongman training. Because there's more weight and less cardio on that one. However, dehydration could be one of those reasons why actually your thought pendulum's off. However, I'm actually giving you two really simple reasons why your thoughts might be off. There's also going to be past experiences. There's also going to be other things that could be going on that you might need to discuss and things like that. But insecure judgment, if you are judging everything, and I always think that judgment should be always well discussed in a nice forum of judgment always comes from a place of insecurity. Believe it or not, when you are judging things, you're coming from a place of insecurity. So if you are judging somebody and thinking, oh, look at that person, oh, look at what that person's doing, it generally comes from that place of insecurity within yourself, because it's kind of like that unwritten code or that unwritten conversation, especially using your monkey mind as the example. Oh, maybe is that jealousy just popped up because that's what you would like to be doing? So that's where judgment comes from a lot of the time, and it's that seeds, it's those seeds that we are planting that come from that insecurity within ourselves that's bred by comparison. And comparison, I think, has been documented so many times as the stealer of joy. Absolute stealer of joy. And I know when I'm doing my lectures and things like that, we always talk about comparison. If comparison is in your life, it will stop you moving forward. It will create another reason for you to not actually be able to get on and move on. If comparison is smacking you in the face, it's one of those things that, again, comparison will send you on that downward spiral. Again, it's coming back to that thought pendulum. So if you're judging things and judging people, can you see how that's going to turn up in your life? I'm going to pause for that one a little bit. While for anyone that's listening, how does judgment turn up in your life? Does it ever really create any happiness in your life? It might do when you're having a little judgy conversation. And by the way, and when we're talking about all these emotions and these states, these emotional states that we get into, I always say this: we're human beings. It's gonna pop up. Judgment especially pops up. Still pops up on me, but I'm like, no. Again, it's about recognizing that thought pendulum, right? It's recognizing that thought pendulum and thinking, right, so if I'm judging someone, is it coming from a place of insecurity? Because if it is, that's a you problem, not a them problem. Does that make sense? I've been using that sentence quite a lot. That's a me problem, not a them problem. So when judgment pops up, that's a you problem, not a them problem. And that's why a lot of people these days are all like, oh, I've got a fear of other people's opinions. I've got a fear of other people's opinions. It stops me moving forward. If people are judging you, it's coming from a place of insecurity within them. That's a powerful tool for you as well. And I genuinely hope you mean that. And look, all these emotions still ping up in my life. I don't ever sit on a pedestal of I've got my ship together. I'll say ship because it's a nicer word. It still pings. But once it pings, that's when you have that conversation with yourself and thought, well, actually, why am I judging this person? Why? Because it comes from that in place. You're like looking in a mirror and thinking, there's something in me that drives that insecurity and things like that. And these can be quite empowering conversations that you can have with yourself to get you back to have your pendulum coming down. Because once we can start having those conversations with ourselves and realizing actually it's something within us, it kind of gives you that power back. You're actually literally taking the power back, because your thoughts and emotions are yours and yours alone. If you keep blaming other people for how you're feeling, you just completely lose control of the accountability. And the second you give the power away to someone else, you might find yourself completely feeling down, upset, frustrated, because you're not holding yourself accountable. And it's the old adage, the old saying, you'll see it all over TikTok or any kind of coach that will talk to you, is that no one else is going to come and save you. You have to do the work yourself. You have to want to do the work yourself, and you have to be able to find a reason why you want to do that work. And if it's not for you, because if those thoughts and those stories come up, that we can often find ourselves having of, oh, I'm not good enough, and no, I can't, I'm not worthy to have this happiness and joy in my life. You have to want to do it for yourself, and it's not easy. I mean, I openly admit that to everyone, but we do have to choose our hard. You have to choose your hard. It's hard staying where you are with those thoughts that are not helpful, not conducive. Or do you want to get up? And then it goes to that next level, doesn't it? Oh, well, no, I've tried this and I've tried this and I've tried this. Well, those things have not worked for you. Try something else. Try something else that will help, whether it's meditation, tapping, energy work, breath work. There's so many things out there that can actually change your physical and emotional state. So recognizing that thought pendulum more, that when you've had a good day, it's about recognizing your good days as well. If you can recognize your good days more, you can create more of those good days. So when it comes to the end of that, you've had that chat in the morning, how am I feeling? Actually, my thoughts are all right. I feel good this morning. Brilliant. Good stuff. At the end of the night time, have that chat with yourself. How did today go? Actually, today was a really good day. Why was today a good day? Because this happened. We recognize it. This happened. Recognized it. This happened. Recognize it. You have to recognize it. If you can start recognizing those good days more, and I don't know if you remember, I think it was about a month ago, we did the thinking styles that we all have, Thinky Bingo. Once you start recognizing those good days more, and for anyone, I challenge everyone to a 7-day positivity, only looking for the things that went right. That's it. Alternate in your phone is for only looking for what went right, instead of looking for what went wrong. Because we can often find ourselves looking, well, this went wrong, and this went wrong, this wrong. Okay, great question. What went right? Well, actually, this went right, this went right. Are we better at looking at the things that went right so we can improve on the things that we didn't get to increase that and to make that more of a better day? It's all about baby steps. So I hope you're following me so far on all this, because that monkey mind creates these stories that we have with ourselves. Especially if you can recognize you're in that woe is me, needy, that'll pop up for you. If you're needing validation, love, and more attention than normal, you're heading in a downward spiral. We all have them, but we don't want to stay in that downward spiral. That's the most important part of what we're talking about here. Especially, you can recognize, especially with your monkey mind, if you're getting more emotional, getting more needy, your pendulum is off. Your pendulum is not off if you're boom, bang on, know what you're doing, get through the day, no issues. Recreating those days more is a genuinely massive tool that you can have, and I hope that brings you some solace, some great value into your life that will genuinely get you back to where you want to be. Because that's, I don't know why I'm stuttering there, but I that was a big pause just for the radio show. That we're gonna have bad days. They come along. They can smack you in the face, because you might go to bed saying, well, last night, yes, it was a great day. You wake up in the morning, you're like, huh? Why do I feel so ship? I'm going to say ship again for you. So, lack of sleep, dehydration, not eating at the right times, eating too much of the bad foods. I'm telling you now, whatever's on your palate can create good, definitely what's on your palate. The foods that we eat can absolutely create. And I'll be honest with you, when my protein is higher. And when my fats are higher and my bad carbohydrates, not good carbohydrates, are a little bit less, so I'm talking less cakes and biscuits and less double-deckers. You might have guessed a double-decker is my favorite chocolate treat. Just saying. Christmas is only 16 weeks away, Veronica. So, once you'll realize it's that difference. And that can happen a lot with everyone as well. Is we start creating these habits that don't do us any better. So I wanted to really, that self-awareness comes from you looking at what's going on in your life and thinking, and some powerful questions for you to ask are, the habits that I have in my life, are they creating positive effects? Is my watching the news, I am a big believer in do not watch the news and stay away from rabbit holing on Facebook and things like that. You have to be so aware of what is going on in the media and how it affects you. There's stories getting created on a daily basis that are not always true, and they just feed into that monkey mind. They feed that monkey mind with a barrage of falseness. Your monkey mind loves drama. It absolutely 100% loves drama, goes looking for drama, and validates its existence. That's what's happening. So your social media, if you're not fully aware of the niceness of social media and not getting enthralled into the negative part of the social media, again, that comes from comparison. And that also breeds those emotional triggers that we have. And I think in my Facebook group, I just posted about what emotionally triggers you. We've all got them. That, again, does come from a place of insecurity sometimes. Once we get that trigger and it triggers off something with us, it just pisses you off for the rest of the day. It's because you believe there's some truth in that. That's you believe there's some truth in what somebody said, and that just bothered you so much. And that's where those emotional triggers can come from a lot of the time. Not all the time, because we can't not validate our past experiences, the traumas that we have in life. This is really has to be fully understood from both sides of the spectrum. But using that thought pendulum, whatever state of life you are in, and understanding how would you be thinking if you were in an insecure kind of state of mind. Think about it. Recognize those thoughts right now. If you're judging, recognize it. Worry, constant worry. And I said this for all the shows that I've been doing, and we've got some more shows with myself and Graham Nichols going to be coming up in a couple of weeks' time as well, is that worry that we have it's like it's at night time. For a lot of people, and a lot of the people that I've talked to, it's those conversations that we have about everything that's happened in the past, something's going to happen in the future, and it's so self-debilitating and things like that. So how can we make our monkey mind, because I'm just looking at the time, I can't believe it, 40 minutes I've been talking about a thought pendulum, but I just wanted to give you a really powerful tool to 100% get that chatter back into kill. Get it in line. If you get your thought pendulum back in line, I'm telling you now, you will completely change your life. Change your life. It's a massive, powerful tool that I work with a lot of my clients and things like that and stuff like that, especially when it comes to those mindset shifts, changing those beliefs that we didn't realize are our beliefs, but they're encoding in there, and they create the circumstances and the way we react to things in life. It's a powerful tool for you to have. So I wanted to give you a really powerful, simple meditation technique, and explain what's happening to you. If anybody's tried meditation before and said, meditation does not work for me, I'm going to tell you why. And this is certainly not my quote. I'm not taking credit for this quote anywhere. There's one lady who I keep seeing advertised, and it's a beautiful quote about meditation. Meditation, we don't meditate to get good at meditation. We meditate to get good at life. Because what's happening with us, our thoughts are driven by our emotions, and our emotions are driven by our thoughts. It's a two-way kilter switch there. And once you start meditating, your little monkey mind is going to go, no. We need to keep talking. I need to keep talking to be validated. And that's why most people can't meditate, because that conversation And those thoughts become too loud, too angry, and frustrate us because we're engaging with them. That is the problem. We are engaging with our thoughts. We don't need to engage with every thought that pops in because it's boom, it's like the floodgates open up. Learning how to not engage with those thoughts and that emotion, which can be honestly, if you're acting with your thought pendulum off, you're wearing the glasses of insecurity or you're wearing them of judgment, how are you going to react? Emotionally, right? 100% emotionally. If we take emotion out, not making you a robot, but making you understand, look at all the information you need and want to know about. Sleep deprivation is a form, it 100% is. We wouldn't drive a car with no fuel or fluid, but we expect it from our bodies and our mind. What ifs and woe. Oh, woe is me. Sweary words. Veronica. Brilliant. Thank you. So, Veronica, can I ask you, before I give a nice little 15 minutes of meditation, not going to do a meditation, but talking the process, have you been in a state of woe is me, Veronica? Honesty is one of the best things that we can do. Have you been, if you understand woe is me, I'm guessing you've been there. So what ifs? I hate what ifs as well. Said hate, it's not a good word. I think that's, honestly, definitely. Boom. Thank you very much, Veronica. Love that honesty. Absolutely love that honesty. What ifs? I'll even jump on that conversation as well. The second you say what if, delete. Control, Alt, delete. Control, Alt, delete. A great system. Control it. I always talk, in fact, we'll talk about it. We'll say acknowledge it, don't interact with it, let it go and reset. That's the mantra of monkey mind relaxation. So, and woe is me. The second you recognize yourself going into woe is me, that's when you know into downward spiral. So, for the last 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to give you a very simple meditation technique. It's the monkey mind method. The monkey mind method of meditation by Cuddy Cudworth. Thank you very much. So it's a simple meditation technique that you can use that is not complex, but it does take practice. And it is going to be that 1, 2, 3. Now, picture your monkey mind. You need to give that conversation something to do. Because sitting there, if you've tried to meditate and just sitting there, just listen to music, it's excruciating for a lot of people. I know it is. Do you know why I know it is? Because it was when I started meditating. So a simple premise is you need to give your monkey mind, that conversation, something to do. So you're going to give it a focus. It has to focus on 2 things. First of all, your breath and a count. A count. You're going to focus on your breath and you're going to focus on a count. It's 2 things it has to focus on so it doesn't focus on the conversation. And your monkey mind will absolutely love this. It'll be the best thing that's ever happened for about 10 seconds. And then it'll be like, we need to have a chat. So this is it. Sit yourself nice and comfortable wherever you want to be, and you're going to focus on your breath. You have to focus on the sensation of the breath as it enters the nostrils, and as it leaves the mouth, you're going to purse your lips. So breathe it in, and breathing out. You can feel the breath as it enters the nose and it leaves the mouth. 1 point focus, the sensation of the breath. That will automatically calm you down. Take a breath in and out. On one breath, you will automatically feel calmer. Imagine that. One breath, you will automatically feel calmer. It's a simple grounding technique for anxiety, anger, any kind of emotions, negative emotions that you do not want in your life. You do not want in your life. It will calm you down. It will calm your monkey mind down. It will calm your brain down. We get overloaded by information on a daily basis. That's what's happening with us in anxiety. It's just going on. It's just breaking the system down and it's just creating panic. That will ground you. So that's the first part of the meditation. The second part is we're going to give your monkey mind something to do. So we're going to give it some juggling balls. That's right, juggling balls. So you're going to breathe in and go 1, 2, 3. That was me throwing juggling balls in case you missed it. And as you breathe out, you're going to count 1, 2, 3. That's the premise to monkey mind relaxation meditation. The count of 1, 2, 3. Breathing in, and 1, 2, 3, breathing out. That's juggling for your monkey mind. You're giving it something to do so you can sit and have that clarity and calmness that you absolutely need. And if I say to everyone, if you are doing this for 2 to 3 minutes a day, you will see a massive change in your life. I changed my life around and for my family. And that's the thing. I didn't do it for me. I did it for my family. And that gave me more accountability. It changed my life and my family's life in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's huge. So do that. Your monkey mind will love how it's, I've got something to do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That count is internal. Don't sit there going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It won't work. You won't be meditating. That count is internal. It's in here. You're giving it something to do. While you're doing that, you will start actually getting calmer and relaxed. However, your monkey mind is very sneaky. Your thoughts are very, very sneaky. So your monkey mind will do that for a minute. And if it's your first time meditating, it'll do it for a minute. You'd be lucky if it does it for 2 minutes before it starts going 1, 2, 3. Throw the balls down. Right, I need to talk about something. Me and you need to talk about something that happened 4 years ago. Can we talk about what happened 4 years ago? Because now's the most important time. That's your monkey mind. It's your thoughts. It's stuck in the past, getting scared about the future. That's monkey mind relaxation. Now, that's the first part. I've given you the tools to do the meditation. This is what you have to do to become a person of meditation. Let's call it a person of meditation. Is you have to acknowledge when your monkey mind has stopped doing the count. So you acknowledge the conversation. What we do in life and what most people don't do is they don't acknowledge the conversation. They're trying to suppress it. Whenever you're trying to suppress it, it's like putting a cork in a volcano. It's your emotions. It's too strong. It's too powerful. You can't put a cork in it. You have to acknowledge it. The second part to the meditation, the second tip is don't interact with it. You've acknowledged it, but don't interact with it. That's right. Don't interact with it. Don't engage in that conversation. Don't engage in that conversation saying, you're useless, or you can't do this. It's more judgment you're giving yourself. And it's never ended well. Judgment of yourself or others has just never ended well. Okay? So that conversation, acknowledge it, don't interact with it. And such as Frozen once said, you have to let it go. That takes a big breath. Let it go. Once you let it go, reset and bring it back to the breath. So you've acknowledged it, you've let it go, you've reset, you didn't acknowledge it. Sorry, you acknowledged it, you didn't interact with it, you let it go, you reset and you bring it back to the breath and you bring it back to the count. When you first start meditating, you may have 10, 20, 30, 40 resets. And that's why we can get more anxious and we get more angry with ourselves. I can't meditate. The second you think you can't do something, what happens? You get more frustrated, you get more anxious, you get more pissed off with the world. It takes practice. That's all it takes. It takes practice. So those resets, and write down how many times in 10 minutes, start and aim for 5 minutes meditation a day. And build yourself up by, I did 5 minutes yesterday. I'll do 6 minutes today. I'll do 7 minutes today. I'll do 8 minutes. Because you can't go in for 20 minutes. It's just not going to happen. Your monkey mind's going to throw its juggling balls away and it's just going to go, no, absolutely not a chance. No, it's too much. Now, what happens is after a week of doing this, you start not reacting to your thoughts and emotions. Imagine that. Because you've started a practice of, I'm not going to engage in that emotion and those thoughts. This is what's bringing your thought pendulum down, because you're not interacting with insecurity, the judgment, the worry, the fear, the hate, the woe is me. You're not interacting with it. You're not living in that state. So get yourself up to 20 minutes. bring that time down, your resets will get less and less and less. Now, I've been meditating daily for 9-10 years now. I still have a couple of resets because our thoughts and our emotions are so strong. The art of monkey mind relaxation is not to control your thoughts and emotions. It's to understand your thoughts and emotions. And the second you can understand your thoughts and emotions, game changer. Game changer. I'm going to say it 3 times because it's important. Game changer. If you're living in a life where you understand your thoughts, understand your emotions, you understand your thought pendulum, it's not off to the side into a negative spiral, you, my friend, are onto a winner. And I mean that sincerely. That's self-awareness, total awareness of everything that you have going on. It's brilliant. Genuinely is brilliant. So I hope this tool helps you. So write down how many resets you've got. That's the art of meditation. Now, onto the website, which is there, Monkey Mind Relaxation. There's so many free resources for you to get in there. If you want to get in contact with me, you are more than welcome to get in contact with me so we can work on whatever you would like to work on. However, right there, no, that side there, there's some free meditations for you. There's a healthier state of mind meditation. There is an anxiety meditation. There's about 4 or 5 meditations on there with my voice. If you resonate with my voice, it'll be a fantastic meditation for you. If you don't resonate with my voice, don't get my meditations. That's just how it is. You'll either resonate with my voice, you won't resonate with my voice. That's a you problem, not a me problem, you see? Whereas in the old days, that would have been a me problem, not a you problem. That's that understanding that we have of ourselves and things like that. So stop, reverse, and rewind. Ooh, Veronica, you are absolutely sharing the knowledge today. Stop, reverse, rewind, fast pace every morning, listening to the birds and breath meditation starts my day. But thank you. I didn't read the second bit, the last bit. Brilliant show, valuable experience gained. Thanks. Oh, not a problem. And hearts. Looks like a heart tattoo. Brilliant. Not a problem. Thank you, Veronica. I feel like we've had this little bit of a private show going today. So not a problem at all. I'm glad there's been lots of value there for you. I genuinely do. And Veronica, we've got more shows coming up. Myself and Graham Nichols are going to be coming back with 2 more shows called The Meaning of Life. So there's going to be 3 shows a month. Veronica, you are more than welcome to absolutely join in with any of the conversations that we have. And obviously spread the good news about Men's Radio Station. Because this, guys, as we've got about 5 minutes left of Veronica, extremely self-aware lady. Thank you so much, Veronica. But guys, and I'm talking to the gentlemen. I know we've got 50% viewers, which is ladies. I am talking to the gentlemen. Gentlemen, if you are in a state of insecurity, which is absolutely a thing that happens for men, and we have to be honest, we start getting needy. We start saying, well, I want some love, and my wife's ignoring me, and these kind of things. Your thought processes are off. It's absolutely off. If you're struggling to find love and happiness and compassion for yourself, it starts with you first. And I mean that sincerely. It starts with you first. If the conversations we're not having up here internally are not conducive to you to have a really cool day without the fear of judgment, the fear of judgment's probably come because you're judging people too. All right, it's one of those things. Another way to explain it is if the reason we have a fear of judgment is because you know you've judged somebody else. So we automatically think that everyone around us is doing the same thing that we're doing up here. And that's not the case. That's actually not the case, because most people are completely locked up within themselves, thinking about themselves. They're absolutely thinking about themselves. Because that's the especially talking about ego. That'll be a whole new show about ego. We can talk about egos never worked well for anyone. So look, that was the thought pendulum. That was a really simple meditation technique that gets anyone started on that journey of meditation. Monkey mind relaxation, believe it or not, is not actually when you get the chance to work with me and things like that. I always mention start meditating, but all these things will start working on these things using cognitive behavioral therapy, using NLP. We've got so many tools in the box that we get people back. NLP 100% saved my life. I can tell you that now. And the elastic band. Thank you, Ross. I know you're always talking about the elastic band. So look, that's what we're here for. That's what Monkey Mind Relaxation, Chatter About the Chatter is. we've got some great chats coming up in the future here at Men's Radio Station. You can absolutely get in contact at Monkey Mind Relaxation. On Spotify, you can find the podcast that I do with guests. We do podcasts with guests. I've got some fabulous ones coming up with Phil Walker. Also, a lovely lady from India called Nalini Ashwin. She's going to be sharing her story that's going to be coming up in a few days' time. Her story about how she lost her son, and she turned it around to be a positive, and that's a really powerful, powerful story. There is some cracking podcasts out there that I've been doing as well with some of my guests. Dave Knight talks about hypnotism and hypnotherapy, and how the placebo effect of antidepressants is only like 64%. There's only 4% more proof that the placebo is the difference between working on an antidepressant. 4% difference than a placebo. A fabulous podcast. You can tune into those podcasts, Chatter About the Chatter, on Spotify, on Anchor. You can find that out on Monkey Mind Relaxation as well. We've got 5 minutes left, everybody. Thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, we're going to be coming back in, I think it's 2 weeks' time. Cena's going to be listening to this part. Cena, the studio manager, is going to be listening to this. We'll get you the dates to when we're going to be coming back with The Meaning of Life with Graham Nichols, sponsored by the Priority Academy, which is a phenomenal academy to be able to get some tools to be able to help you with these kind of things. And as always, you are always more than welcome to get in contact to find out if you want to work together. And I do want to give a shout out to all the radio station hosts here at Men's Radio Station. And I always want to finish off with a massive thank you to Russ Kane for giving me this chance and this platform to be able to have these conversations about Chatter About the Chatter. We are here to get everybody that we can back on the road and the journey they should be living, which is to be able to wake up in the morning with a smile on your face that, all right, let's finish off with this. There's so much things that go on around by you can't live in a state of positivity. Then there's toxic positivity of, oh, you're being too negative and things like that. No, a positive mindset is when there is nothing around to support any positivity in your life, you look for one thing. That's a positive mindset. It starts looking for one thing that can create that positivity in your life. You grab on to that little light. I think Nalini just mentioned this as well, that when you are surrounded by darkness and there is nothing to support you to be positive or find something to get out of bed in the morning for, that's what a positive mindset does. It teaches you focus. It teaches you how to get out of bed in the moment and be fantastic for somebody else in your life, not just yourself. Once we start making it about everyone else around us, you can start seeing those changes, because we get so consumed by self and we get so consumed with, especially if you're in that woe is me. And there is so many things out there that can absolutely benefit you. That's not always the way of going and getting a tablet and things like that to be able to get past these things. And you don't have to live with anxiety in your life. You don't have to live with stress in your life. You need some stress. It's there for a reason, but you don't want to be living in that state of constant stress, anxiety, worry. There is so many things out there that can help you to get you back where you need to be, which is living life on your terms. Imagine that, living that life on your terms, like so many of my friends do, so many of the clients that I've been working with do. It's just, it's a whole new world out there. It's a whole new world. Did I just quote Aladdin to finish off the show? I think I just quoted Aladdin and a Disney movie. So as always, head to the website, get yourself, you can download whatever you wish. You are more than welcome to get in contact. Thank you very much to Russ Kane, the entire team here. Cena, thank you very much for hosting this show for me and inviting me in. I hope it's brought you some great tools and joy for you. Veronica, this show would have been nothing without you. Absolutely nothing without you joining in as well. So thank you very much. And Veronica, if you're in Edinburgh, I'm trying to think. It's not going to be long before I'm in Edinburgh either. But because we've been staying away from the city. But ladies and gentlemen, I stand at 6'2" and 3 feet wide. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on YouTube. Check out those podcasts. Get the meditations, whatever you need to do to get you back enjoying your life and living life on your terms. That is hopefully going to give you some massive benefit enjoying your life. Thank you very much. Bless you, Edinburgh for Veronica. Bye from